I think we should get into it. So welcome. This is the first session of Cartoon Academy. I'm going to teach this class twice a week for the next 12 weeks. You don't have to be here for all of them. You don't have to be here for any of them, but you are welcome, and I am honored to have you. My name is Ray. You can call me Cartoon Ray, and I am a lifelong cartoon-loving nerd. I have drawn cartoons for as long as I can remember, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. What you need to know is that there is a folder that has resources for you on my website at cartoonray.com. Just go to cartoonray.com, click the thing that says Cartoon Academy, and then you'll see the class resources folder, and you'll see the Dropbox link where you can upload your work if you want to be considered for the certificate. I'm going to be teaching this class. I should draw something for you while I describe this. I'm going to teach this class twice a week for the next 12 weeks. We will meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to keep that schedule pretty tight. I will do my darndest to not let that schedule slip. If it doesn't totally work out for some reason, I will let you know well in advance. I will be scheduling these things. I'll get better about the scheduling, but you will always be able to register for at least the next class on TikTok immediately following the current class, if that makes sense. This is Spidey. Nobody requested him, but he's kind of an autopilot guy. I can kind of just jump in and start drawing Spider-Man. Don't ever feel like if you missed a class, you can't come to the next one. Don't ever feel like if you've never been to one of these classes that you can't just drop in. All are welcome. Nothing is expected of you. This is completely free, and I'm doing it because I want to give back to this community that's been super awesome and supportive of me. So that's what's going on. If you do feel like supporting me, there is a tip button on my TikTok page. And it is grossly underused, but I haven't really been talking about it very much. It's there, and if this winds up being something that you really love and value, if I wind up being a creator who you want to support, I am trying to take this online content creation thing to a serious and professional level, and you can help me by giving me a tip there. Again, 100% not expected, not necessary. And please don't do it if you can't afford it, or if you don't have money, or if all you have is a parent's credit card. Ixnay. No, none of that. I don't want your hard-earned milk money. But if you have extra money and you like what I'm doing and you want to support me, that's a great way to do it. So yeah, this is my class, and the number one feedback that I heard from people is, oh, yeah, you're going to teach us how to draw, but you are coming at this from a place where, like, you're just cranking out perfect seeming circles left and right. And I think that it's really intimidating for people when I'm here and I say, yeah, just draw Bart Simpson. Just start with a perfect circle. Oops, sorry, YouTube, you can't see that. Just start with a perfect circle and then, go from there. And people are like, well, you lost me at perfect circle. Circles are a nightmare, right? It's the number one thing that would be cool to be able to do, and it's the number one thing that is embarrassing when you can't do it well. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with maybe the hardest thing to get right, and that is the circle, because the circle is foundational to all other drawing. Everyone who wants to have paper and pencil or pen has it, right? Everyone's good here with their paper, pencil, pen situation. Great. Okay. So let's talk about it. Circles are tough, but you can learn how to draw them. What I need from you is to understand one thing. There's two parts of your brain. There's the part of your brain that does stuff and creates things and revels in the joy of making. And then there's the part of your brain that thinks and says, that wasn't good enough. That sucked. I hated that. I'm embarrassed. How could I be so bad at this? There's the critic and there's the creator. And you really can't run both at the same time. It's like two programs that just crash out your brain. So the agreement, the fundamental thing, probably if I could teach you any one thing in this class, it would be to shut that critic up while you're creating. It's not worth it for you to get a quarter of a way through a circle and say, oh, this circle sucks. It's not going to be good. Just finish the damn circle, pardon my language, the darn circle, and then look at it and say, do this. Was that a good circle? I say, no, you know what? I'm going to analytically think now. I look at this circle and I say, oh, I should have come down further. But I don't need to think that while I'm drawing it. So the main thing to start this whole conversation is do your thing and then go, oh, I see what I did. I'm going to describe the mistake I made. I could have brought it back down further. Because if I'm in the middle of the circle going, I don't know if I can do this, that's where this comes from, is the uncertainty, the shakiness, the doubt. So I hope you have a pencil and a pen. Here's what I want to do first. We're going to start with an experiment. I want you to just start doing a circle, like, doesn't matter, like maybe the size of a silver dollar, maybe the size of a quarter, but it doesn't have to be good. Just start drawing a circle and keep that loop going, and see if you can't start to hone your experience. You have that pen? It's a good pen. And just see if you can't kind of start to get it a little bit consistent. All right, you could do this for a minute, you could do it for 30 seconds, but see if you can't just get a steady motion going. It doesn't matter if you swing out, swing back in, try and just get your hand moving in a repetitive motion. And then I want you to just take the paper, scoot it over, and continue that same motion and see how that goes. As you can see, I have the pen firmly gripped in my hand, and I'm kind of moving the whole hand here, and you just want to see what happens. It doesn't matter if it's big, if it's loop, we just want to try and get one going and see if you can't keep it sort of consistent, and once it starts to feel consistent, see if you can jump over and do it again over here. And my notion here is that what's going to happen is you will increase your ability to have a smooth, steady line. So you could even try it smaller. It's talk about which part of the hand we're moving, which part of the body we're moving shortly. But to start, a big thing, if you're winding up like that, you could start to kind of say, okay, I'm going to try and, okay, now I'm too tall. Now I want to try and make it a little bit wider. And eventually, whether you're working with a pen or a pencil or a marker, maybe get that steady movement and then jump it over and see if you can't keep it going. This is just good practice. And again, no criticism while we're doing this. You can analyze, you can say, okay, that didn't work and I want to change something. But if you're drawing, leave out the part of your brain that says, I'm not doing good enough or that was bad. It's only going to crush your enthusiasm, stop your development, and prevent you from learning. You think it helps you, but it doesn't actually help you. You have to learn to see errors as a necessary part of the process. The way I think about it is, if you want to become a good musician, you have to play like 10,000 bad notes. You have to make like 10,000 bad sounds. If you want to draw a perfect circle, you're going to have to draw like 10,000 crummy circles. But once you realize that you just have to get through the bad work to get to the good work, then you realize every bad circle is bringing you closer to your ultimate goal. Even if you can't see improvement from circle to circle, you have to know that there is a certain amount of training you have to do. And over time, you can get yourself in the kind of physical training that you need to be in to be doing really precise work. But you have to be willing to do the bad work. You have to be willing to suck at something if you want to start to get good at something. Okay, so now I want to do an experiment for everyone who's drawing here. All right, I'm going to set a timer, if I can actually do that. I should be able to do that, right? That seems like that should be within my ability as a technological person. I'm going to set a timer, and what I want you to do, and we'll all do it together, where did my clock go, is we are going to draw as many circles on our sheet of paper as we can in 1 minute. Quality is not important. The only thing that matters is quantity, okay? So I want you to, on the count of 3, I want you to spend a minute drawing as many circles as you can. It doesn't matter if they're good, okay? 3, 2, 1, go. Circles. Just get them out. It doesn't matter if they overlap. I want to see as many circles. Just chuck them out there. Here, I can do good ones. I can do bad ones. It doesn't matter. We're getting out our circles. We are getting through as many circles as we can. We've been going for 20 seconds. You know, it might only be that I'm doing 1 circle a second. You could try and speed up. You could get really crazy fast. You can slow down a little bit if you want to, but mostly I want you to get out of your own way and just make so many circles. Consider these your early circles and your worst, consider all of these are the worst circles you're ever going to draw. It doesn't matter. We have to get through them. We have to just keep going for another 5 seconds. And now we have 1 minute of circles in 3, 2, 1. And that is your minute of circle drawing. It doesn't matter. That's okay if you're left-handed. That's great. It doesn't matter if they're bad. In fact, it's better if they're bad. Quality doesn't matter. The truth of the thing is that quantity, doing something 1,000 times, generates quality over time, which is kind of the whole point of what I want to teach you, is that if you're willing to do something a lot of times, you will get better at that thing, no matter how bad you are at it right now. Conversely, taking your time is a real thing. There's a saying that says slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So what I'd like you to do now is get your pen or pencil set in a place, okay? And take a deep breath. And then when you breathe out, I want you to breathe slowly while you draw a circle, good or bad. So in and okay, let's do that again. Breathe in and breathe out while you draw the line. Slowly. Take your time. If you run out of breath, stop, breathe in, and start breathing out again. We want to work on this from all angles. You want to do 1,000 little tiny circles, and you also want to do some big slow circles. Okay, I've got you breathing now. One thing I want you to think about is your whole body, right? When we think about drawing, we almost only think about the tip of our pen. We get so obsessed. I'm just, you can't see my face, but I'm just staring right where the tip of the pen is, right? But the pen is in my hand, and my hand has a certain amount of tension, what it's doing. There's tension running all the way through my body. It's not just my fingers drawing. It can be my fingers drawing, but my fingers are only drawing because of a nerve that runs up my arm and goes to my brain. So I want you to really take a second to, let's take another breath. 1, and out, and look at your body for a second. Sit up. You know, when you're drawing, think about what is your left hand doing, or right hand if you're left-handed. How are you holding it? Are you leaning to one side or the other? I've found that for me, when I draw, it winds up looking a lot like this guy. I draw, and I've got my pencil, and my face is down like this, and I'm focused, and I got my shoulders hunched like that, and I have my other hand over here like this, and you realize that the whole thing, the whole system is involved in the drawing, and the only thing I want you to do there is to pay attention to how your body goes. If you want to draw, if you want to be able to make cartoons, you need to draw a lot of cartoons. And if you're going to draw a lot of cartoons, it means you're going to be sitting in your drawing posture a lot. And if you're going to be sitting this way a lot, over time it'll have an effect on how you are. So just, you know, let's try and pay attention to what you're doing with your left hand or right hand while you draw with the other hand. See what happens if you know, I'm activating this hand, I'm wiggling my fingers while I draw. Now I'll pay a lot of attention to my nose while I draw this next one. Little things that you can do to pay attention to other parts of your body, to notice any small aches or pains, go a long way. Okay, I want to talk about where we're looking when we're drawing. Normally, if I want to draw something, it's right. I'm paying right attention. Pardon me, YouTube. Sorry, I was off camera there. I'm paying right attention to that point of the line, right? Which means if I'm drawing a circle, I'm always looking exactly at where the end of the pen is. What I want you to try here is put a dot on your paper and only stare at the dot, right? I'm only looking right here. I bring my pen in, but I don't look at the pen, and I just want to draw a line that goes to that point. I'm not looking where my pen is. I'm not really worried too much about what my pen is doing. I'm staring at that dot, and I'm making lines go to that dot. Now, let's do another over here, 2 dots, all right? One there and one there. And I want you to only stare at the top dot. Only stare at the top. Put your pen on the bottom dot, put your eyes on the top dot, and just draw a curve going from one to another. You can repeat the same process again. I'm sorry if I'm going fast. I'll try to slow down. Draw 2 dots, and then staring only at the top one, not looking at your pen, try to create that curve. What you'll find so often is that your body and your subconscious mind are much better at these things than your conscious mind. If I stare at the pen and I try and, even if I have that dot there, but I stare at the pen, I may or may not hit that point. But the same way, if you want to shoot a basket, you don't stare at the basketball, you stare at the hoop. You look where you want it to go, and that's true. That can be really helpful with line work too. It's not something you always do, but it's something that can be really helpful if you practice it sometimes doing it. Okay. I know, it's a lot, and we still haven't drawn any cartoons, but we're gonna. For me, in this class, I would like you to prioritize smoothness over accuracy. So I'd much rather see from you a Sonic the Hedgehog that the lines don't match up and it's not, it doesn't really look like him. You know, you could think of it as an abstract, but I would prefer a Sonic the Hedgehog that has a smoothness to the lines than accuracy. To me, this circle is better than this circle. And the way that you create that smoothness is by doing what you can to remove It's the same thing. It goes back to that judgmental thing I was talking about in the beginning. It's the same thing of, can you remove thinking from the process? So one way that you can do that is by, right, it's always so much about the tip of the pen. What I want to suggest is that you can make it about other parts of your body. So you can hinge at the wrist. Sorry, it's a little close for this, but you can hinge at the wrist and then create your curve that way. You could put your paper in one, you could leave your wrist in one place and create your curve by spinning the paper. You could move your whole arm, so you can, like we were doing earlier with the spirals. You can move your whole arm, and you can do the thing where you keep that hand right in place and you brute force it. It's tough, but it can be done. And I just want you to look at some of these other options, because to me, I'd like to see you examine the quality of line you're doing, examine the pressure that you're putting on the paper. So take your pen or pencil right now and try to make the lightest line you can. What's the lightest touch you can have on that paper? All right, what's the least amount of pressure? I almost want to like have my pen out at the end of my fingers to just drag it lightly across. What's the smallest amount of pressure I can apply on that paper? And conversely, I don't actually want to do it. I'm going to use an old pen. But if you have like a pencil or something, like what's the hardest you can push that? See, that just like ruins the pen right away. And this, to me, we have a tendency to do this when we're drawing. We tend to really grind it out. And finding a lightness, finding a happy medium probably is the right answer, but a way to find a fluidity, an ease, a smoothness, because that is what I want you to prioritize, is the smoothness. It doesn't matter if we can get Bart to be smooth. It doesn't matter if one of his eyes is huge and his hair comes way up like this. I think it's actually pretty cool to do almost a Picasso Bart in this way. But the smoothness kind of sells it. The smoothness kind of keeps it. So that's what I wish for you to work on is how can you, slowly, gracefully make smooth lines. That's what you're working for. If you can make a smooth line, be it a curved line or a straight line or a, zigzag, jagged, whatever else, you're in really good shape. Smoothness, and I'm not telling you to be able to do it right now either. That's another hard fought thing. Okay, so we have 4 minutes left in this class. Here's the deal. I have 6 characters that I want to work on with you, and we may only get through the first 3 today. But I'm actually going to jump ahead. Actually, let's just start where we start, okay? Draw this with me, if you would please, okay? I would like to see if you can do it. A simple oval like this. Any quality. Sorry, that was off camera, I know. So any quality oval like this. It doesn't matter if the lines match up, but I just want to see, kind of practice that shape like that. Okay? It's nice if it matches up. It doesn't have to. And then we're going to kind of move our whole hand to start a straight line in this way and then curve around like that. Okay? So that was just an oval and a curve around like so. Another short line connecting back. Can you guess who this is? This is a cartoon character. Then a curve down like that. A wider curve out like that. 2 circles. Two parts of ovals. And then 4 more small circles. This is Peppa Pig, and I chose Peppa Pig because Peppa Pig has a good variety of curves in her. And if you just get that pattern down, start with the oval, do a big long curve like this, that kind of candy canes in on itself, and come back like this. Then you can kind of invent any of her details in any way. And again, it doesn't matter if the circles aren't, don't worry about it being perfect. I want you to get this sequence down. Start with an oval. I don't care if it's good or not. Get that curve around like that. Line back. 2 curves for a smile. Circle, circle, ear, ear, nostril, nostril, pupil, pupil. And if that's something that interests you, then keep drawing Peppa Pig. The homework assignment, I know it's now time that I said class was going to be over. I'm going to go a little bit longer. Feel free to check out. You don't have to stay. But do stay long enough for me to say that the homework is for you to choose this character or one of the other characters that I'm going to show you and fill a page with that same character. And you may stop and consider yourself done with the homework when you feel that you can do it from memory without having to look at a reference image. So as soon as you can draw your Peppa Pig, not worried about quality, but just getting those basic lines in, then that's when you're done with your homework. And again, you can submit your homework to the Dropbox on my website if you would like to be considered for a certificate at the end of this class. All right, Peppa is your first option. Second option is going to be Kirby. So for Kirby, this one's a little bit more of a challenge, but for Kirby, we're going to start with a curve going up and over like that. Again, don't let quality be your enemy. We are going for quantity first. And then we're going to do another circle curving below. Okay. Then curve out. It's not a hard circle there, so anything that feels comfortable. And then basically out like that, and out like that. Up here with a skinny, tall oval, and another. Smile across, cheek, and cheek. There's more detail you can add in the eye, but this is all I'm worried about right now. So again, that pattern is top half of a circle and bottom half of a circle. Bridge line coming out. All I can really describe this as is 2 parts of eggs that make up the feet. 2 skinny, tall sections there. And a smile. It seems like the YouTube stream failed. I apologize if anyone had that experience. Okay, and we'll do it one more time. I'm only going to give you 3 characters, but I have a sheet on my website with 6 characters total. But for now, we'll just do Peppa Pig and Kirby, and one more after this. And if you want to do homework, you just choose one character and you get them to a place where you feel you're able to draw them from memory. Okay? Thanks for those follows. Yeah, his arms can act like ears. Once you get better, once you get a little bit more experience with Kirby, you can shrink either the upper or the lower curve and start to fit stuff in. But that's the real joy of learning these character designs, is you can warp them, you can change them over time. Awesome, thank you. Okay, and then the last character I'm going to show you right now. I think this is a really great character for learning to draw curves and circles, but let's just go for a partial curve like that. Okay, and another partial curve mirroring it. We're basically creating a leaf shape there. And gosh, I love this character for drawing circles. We're coming out this way now to kind of do the best we can to create a half circle coming off like that, and another half circle coming off like that. And the reason I love this character so much is because the challenge, now we're going to start from the very top here and create a circle that comes off just slightly and ropes back around like this. Oops, I should continue from where I started. Okay. And now the big challenge is, maybe we'll start over here. The big challenge is making a circle that goes all the way around. What I love about this character is it builds up in challenge as you move outward. And it ends with a circle where you're basically, the main thing with this character is you're going to keep that outer circle the same distance from the inner circle all the way around. And then, easy peasy, we add two eyes in there, dot and dot, and we have Kenny. He's a little bit of a wide Kenny, but you get my gist. So again, that's a curve and a curve to create that leaf shape, another curve around like that, a circle that dips below the whole rest of it, and one more that goes around the outside. I have these all drawn in steps on a sheet on my website in the class folder. Feel free to help yourself there. I see people are clocking out, and I want to make sure to honor everyone's time. So I will, if it's okay with you, I'm going to shift to take questions. And if I don't have questions, then I'll take requests. But I want to make sure that I have time to take questions.